President Trump puts more U.S. trading partners on notice, posting on social media letters to 7 more countries warning them of tariff increases. Some countries involved are the Philippines, Moldova, Libya, and Iraq. The tariffs range from 20 to 30% beginning August 1st. This comes after the president hosted a lunch with leaders of Western African nations at the White House Wednesday. He discussed potential trade opportunities with their countries following steep cuts in U.S. aid to the region.
There's great economic potential in Africa, like few other places in many ways. In the long run, this will be far more effective and sustainable and beneficial than anything else that we can be doing together.